All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shelley, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. The black and white jacket, I think, gives that away. Let's take a look at what's happening today. Let's move right into that corn market. Boy, oh boy. 19.75 higher in that May contract. That's 761.5. That's only about 3.5 cents off the highs there. Look at new crop, 21.75 higher. 667.5, but look at that. 670 was the high. That's pretty good going. New crop corn before we even turn a wheel. Boy, oh boy. How about soybeans? Front month, May, 29.25 higher, 16.97 July up 33 cents at 16.78 But look at Novi beans. We're trying, aren't we? 26.5 higher to 14.93 Almost got a $15 printout. 14.98 was the high. How about wheat? Let's see what's happening over here. Are we limit up? No, we kind of backed off a little bit. That May contract, 81.25 higher to 11.45 even. July up 72.5 to 11.17 and a quarter. Kansas City, what's that wheat look like? Hard red wheat in Kansas City. Let's go to Kansas City. 70.75 higher in the May to 11.41 and a quarter. July is up 69.75 to 11.31 All right. What about spring wheat in Minneapolis? This one's still higher as well. Boy, great double-digit gains across the board. May up 56 cents in Minneapolis to 11.16 and a quarter. July up 54.25 cents to 11.09. All right. Lastly, let's take a look at cotton. This was on a rocket shot earlier today, 313 points higher to 129.99. Let's bring in our next guest analyst, Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading. Todd, thanks for joining the show. Okay, we were just talking at the break. I mean, I'm sure you're fielding a lot of phone calls. What are you talking about to your producers?
You know, it's like it's ridiculous. What do I do? What should I do from here? And my answer is always the same, Scott. Just protect these prices. Don't give up and don't lock in at these high levels. Lock in where you can protect the downside and let the upside run. There is no telling, Scott, how high we can go here. This is between the political troubles with wheat and in Russia, and between the input costs, and now look at gas, oil up again today, $6 a barrel. These things have got to go higher to keep pace with just normal trading. So, you know, we're seeing money flow in, and we've got to see higher prices. And I don't think this is what I think we're far from over of going to the upside, but you want to make sure that you protect the downside in case. But you never want to give up that opportunity for what we call even a bigger market, because we're already in a big market. Maybe it'll get bigger.
Well, I mean, it's an amazing. In a few short months, we find ourselves in an energy crisis and a food crisis, food and fuel. And, you know, the reason why I find that absolutely amazing is there's really no substitute. There's no real alternative. I mean, we need food and we need fuel. And so here we sit. You know, I saw an interesting stat this morning before I came on, Todd, that, and this is how they termed it, 12% of the world's calories come out of the Ukraine. So 12% of the world's calories. I mean, that's an interesting stat. And that also will go to show you why we see wheat doing what it's doing.
No, I mean, again, we're seeing these issues. And again, you can go back to Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake, right? This has to be solved. And this is a very, very big problem that we seem to forget about. And we're letting these things slide by. We can't go into the metaverse and eat, Scott. I mean, this is, you know, everybody talks about the metaverse. You can't go into the metaverse and get food. You can't, there's not a special pill, there's not a replacement. We need to get these things done properly. And the other problem you've got is that farmers and producers, the smaller guys, are get really punished by their rates the way they're going up now. I mean, the 10%, the 10-year is well over 2%. And these guys already overpay for interest rates because of the risk they have to take to plant. This is a problem.
2.24 right before we went on, Todd. 2.24 in that 10-year. So bonds have given up. Rates are going higher. That's not a good scene right now. Anywhere you turn, you're going to get stung. So stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We'll come back and talk livestock with Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading in Chicago after this. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shelly, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, if you want to get to know more about what I have to do, say, write, and film, it's at Scott the Cow Guy, Twitter. That's where you're going to find it all. At Scott the Cow Guy. That's pretty easy. You should be able to meet me there. And if you can't do that, hey, 1 Central, 2 Eastern, the Cow Guy closed. That's another good spot, too. All right, let's take a look at live cattle before you get sick of me talking. This is a mixed board, kind of quiet. April's off 22 cents to 140.27. June's off 40 cents to 136.67, but you do see a little bit of a return to the plus side with the deferreds, but only by a dime to 17 cents, so nothing too significant. And then we move to feeders. They're going to get hurt because corn's so much higher, right? April's off $1.27 to 161.05. We've got May off $1.52 to 165.92, and so those are about 50, 60 cents off their lows, so they're going to be suffering. And then let's lastly take a look at lean hogs. Lean hogs were having a good day when last we checked. Still are, right? April's up $1.57 to 100.97. And as you go out the deferreds, we gain, right? $3.52 on that May contract to 110.62. And going out to say even August, we're up $4. So good board there when it comes to the livestock and especially the lean hogs. Let's bring back in Todd Horwitz from Bubba Trading. Todd's in Chicago. Todd, what are your thoughts on livestock?
I think it goes back to oil. Did we notice, Scott, that when crude oil goes higher, cattle goes lower? It's not only that the cost of feed is hurting feeders, but so is the cost of oil, because it's going to take away people's budget of where they're going to spend their money, which is why I think we're seeing the hog markets pop nicely today, because now we're back into eating hogs and maybe another protein to try to substitute in, because the price of cattle will be too high and people's budget won't tolerate it. And I think this is the big problem that we're watching, because, of course, high feed cost, high input cost, high every cost is going to create people moving to another form of food, of protein. And I think that's why we're looking at the rally in the hog market today.
Well, that Rasmussen, that pollster firm, they came out and had, any slew of polls saying that Americans are starting to change their behavior. That's for sure when it comes to either eating and driving. Because, and I said anecdotally with you, I think once last week, that 3 months ago, we walked through the grocery store and say, I wonder what might not be here next week because of the supply chain issues, right? And people were just snapping it up left, right, and center just because they didn't want to miss out. But we've gone past that now, way past that now, to instead of wondering what's going to be there next week, now we're wondering what we can afford next week. That's how fast that these things are going up. And so another analyst I read this morning said, I think you'd probably agree with this, but in the next 1 to 2 months, they expect 7 to 10% more inflation on food.
I agree, and I think it's coming. And again, there's empty shelves now in the grocery stores and have been for months, and they're getting emptier, which is, again, another problem. And I don't think we've seen the hoarders coming in to overload on canned goods and things that will last for a while either, which is another problem that is down the road if this continues. And this needs to be fixed, and it needs to be stopped, and it can be done easily. Unfortunately, we don't have someone who wants to take care of that and fix the issues that are at hand.
All right. We'll leave it on that. That's Todd Horwitz. Thanks for being on the show today, Todd. Bring it back to Nashville so I can throw this back over to Janet.